What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we are talking about part 2 of the series called Your Prenup Can Still Be Thrown Out. Your prenup can still be thrown out of court. And we're going to be specifically concentrating on the reasons why your prenup can be thrown out of court. Once again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving any legal advice, but what I am doing is giving you some observations, which a lot of people have seen for themselves also too. So once again, I'm not giving any legal advice. I'm not giving any legal advice. But I am giving you some suggestions. I'm presenting some information to you so that you can make a very, very well thought out plan as to whether you want to get married or not. Also too, just because you have a prenuptial agreement, don't have a false sense of security. There are a lot of men that have a prenuptial agreement in place and they have a false sense of security that everything's going to be all right and you don't have to worry about anything. I'm telling you, you have a false sense of security. In the last video I talked about a couple of celebrities that had prenuptial agreements, and those prenuptial agreements were thrown out of court, period. They had a false sense of security that prenuptial agreement was going to help them out, and the prenuptial agreement didn't do anything for them. So we're going to go in this particular series. What I'm going to be talking about right now is the reasons why some of the prenuptial agreements are thrown out of court, and we're going to talk about some other things. So anyway, before I get into it, let me say fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Would you please like? Would you please share? And would you please subscribe? Would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? And let's get into it. Well, I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons. There was this particular athlete. You can learn a lot from this story. And I think this is the reason why this particular athlete had made some videos on this and put these videos online to help some men. Some men don't listen too well. So I'm going to tell you in another way as to why you should listen to this particular guy, because I don't remember what the athlete's name was, but he did do a video on this, and he talked about what happened to him. You have to be the type of man to be able to learn from your own mistakes, okay? Learn from your own mistakes and learn from other people's mistakes. You follow what I'm saying? Now, what are some of other people's mistakes? Well, I'm about to tell you. There was this particular athlete. He was about to get married. Now, when the story started, this story started out probably a year in advance before the wedding date. Now, once again, this started out a year in advance before the wedding date. Now, all during this time, for this time period, year and a half, what has happened during this time period is that this particular athlete kept asking his fiance to go ahead and sign his prenuptial agreement. Go ahead and sign his prenuptial agreement. So we had already started out a year and a half in advance. She'll, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna sign it, I'm gonna sign it. Okay, I'm gonna sign it. Okay, well, we're already a year and a half out, all right? Well, now months then went past. Now you down to the 8th month. The man is still asking the fiance, would you sign a prenuptial agreement? Some more months then pass. The man is asking the person, are you gonna sign a prenuptial agreement? When are you gonna sign a prenuptial agreement? Over and over again, he was asking her. Now you down to 6 months. Now you down to 3 months. Now, when we first initially started out, the man started asking his fiance to sign a prenuptial agreement a year to year and a half out before the wedding day. Now you down to 3 months. She still haven't signed a prenuptial agreement. Now he was down to 2 months. She still haven't signed a prenuptial agreement. Now she's down to a month. Still haven't signed a prenuptial agreement, okay? So we get real close to the wedding day, okay? The woman then says, I'm gonna sign, I'll sign it in front of people to let other people know that she was put under pressure to sign. She was told about signing the prenuptial agreement a year to a year and a half out before the date of the wedding, okay? She waits, puts on a show in front of everybody. Then this athlete started getting pressure from other people in the church, started getting pressure from some family members. Just go ahead and just notice how he's now being put under pressure by the people in the church, other family members. But you know what the guy did? He did a very, very, very smart thing. No, don't sign it, telling her. Now, I've been asking you for the last year and a half to sign this prenuptial agreement. You told me you were going to sign the prenuptial agreement. You didn't sign the prenuptial agreement all during this time. He had all these people putting pressure on him to get married without having the prenuptial agreement signed. And now she's going to sign it. Well, what has taken place is that now she can say that she's been put under pressure to sign it, and she signed it against her will. Now, if he had went ahead and married her, even with the prenuptial agreement, she could have stated that she was put under pressure, also put under duress to sign this prenuptial agreement. Then it makes him look bad because it made him look like you waited with all these people that flew from out of town and came in town to watch the wedding. And now you put this prenuptial agreement in her face and say, here, sign this. That's what she was trying to make it look like that way. When in actuality, the man had been trying to get his fiance a year to a year and a half before the wedding to sign a prenuptial agreement. So basically, in a nutshell, even if she signed it then and they get married and they get a divorce, she can always tell the judge she was under duress. She was under pressure to sign something that she didn't want to sign. And she could always say, well, I signed it the day of the wedding. So that would have been a guarantee that the judge would have took the prenuptial agreement and threw it out the window, threw it out of court. And a lot of people would agree. Oh, well, you were put under duress. You were put under pressure to sign this at the last minute. So what is the point that I'm making? Is that this is one of the reasons that your prenuptial agreement can be thrown out, under duress, under pressure. So if you have somebody sign a prenuptial agreement the day of the wedding, a month before the wedding, 2 or 3 months before a wedding, maybe even up to 6 months before the wedding, they may take your prenuptial agreement and throw it out the window, even if it's already signed. Now, these are things you need to take into consideration. This is just one of the reasons. Another reason why your prenuptial agreement can possibly be thrown out of court is they can say that you didn't keep your prenuptial agreement updated on a regular basis, okay? That could be a reason. But then nobody told you were supposed to be keeping it updated on a regular basis. Another reason why your prenuptial agreement might get thrown out of court. Do you have any children by the woman? If you have any children by the woman, your prenuptial agreement can be thrown out of court. If you have any children by the woman that you are about to marry, or this might even be after the fact, you had some children after you got married to her, your prenuptial agreement may get thrown out of court for that. Then also too, one of the things that you need to keep in consideration, which is a very, very important point, your prenuptial agreement can be just thrown out for no particular reason. Judge just may choose, just throw your prenuptial agreement out. And he don't necessarily have to give you a reason. So if you go to anybody talking some stuff about, oh, we can put together an ironclad prenuptial agreement for you, you won't have to worry that there's a gun hanging over your head, a gun pointed at you, because the marriage has been now weaponized against the men. Nobody can guarantee that. Then you can spend a bunch of money, like I said in the last video. You can spend a bunch of money on your prenuptial agreement, and like look at a couple of celebrities recently within the last 5 or 10 years whose prenuptial agreements were thrown out, weren't even allowed in the court. Judge don't have to give you a reason. You know, there was one particular celebrity spent a whole lot of money on his prenuptial agreement. Was it allowed in court? No. Was it signed by the other party, by the spouse? Yes. Follow me? So, and the guy who's a celebrity spent a whole lot of money on that prenuptial agreement. So anyway, I want you to take these things in consideration when you think that your prenup is going to take pressure off you. It's not. Unfortunately, marriage has been weaponized. And because marriage has been weaponized, it's literally like the spouse can hold a gun and let you know at any point in time, you don't make me happy, I ain't pull that trigger. Take half all your stuff. It's really, really a shame because, it puts men in a position where you literally feel like you're sleeping with the enemy. You're sleeping with one eye open, okay? Scared. Like I stated before in one of the previous videos, in the last video I did, there's a couple of male TV talk show hosts, and you can tell by the way they talk about women's issues that they are simps, serious simps. And they also know that gun is pointed at them, and that at any particular point in time, their wives can pull the trigger and take half their stuff. And they may have spent years and years building and accumulating all that wealth that is now going to be taken from them. So I'm telling you right now, it's a real mess up situation to be put in. Even after you married somebody, the men are walking around in fear. It's not a good thing in the least bit. So I wanted to bring these things up to you. And let you think about what could possibly happen if you happen to get married, and even when you do have a prenuptial agreement, you thinking that everything's going to be all right, you can still get hit. You hear me? So anyway, I just want to tell you that. I want you to also look down in the description box below at the Child Support Hustle, so you can get a lot of good information from the other videos. The links are in the description box below. The links, all you gotta do is click on them, and you need to look through all those videos also too, about various ways that you can get caught and hit on a regular basis, on a monthly basis for child support. All right, so please like, please share, please subscribe, and peace.